Hey, welcome back to Grit Gym. We have Keeping It Simple here. That's Kelly over here to my right. Actually, I think it's to my left on Facebook because I'm pretty sure that they flip it, that they mirror it. But
regardless, we're sitting next to each other.
Good point. Beside me. Anyway, she's a lifter. You're a nurse, right?
I'm a nurse.
Nurse, weirdo about nutrition. Has a really pretty amazing not nutrition journey, fitness journey. She's a lifter. You want to introduce yourself just a little bit and go through some of your things? Tell them why. She's been on the show before too, so if she looks familiar, that's why.
Yeah, was that last summer?
Oh my God, it seems like yesterday.
I know. Yep. Okay. Well, yep. I'm KP or Kelly Potter. I am a nurse. I'm a PhD student. I'm a lifter. I do this Instagram thing where I take pretty pictures of food, and I really like to talk about nutrition because I think it's fascinating, and it's basically one of the fundamental things about getting healthy, and it made such a big difference for me. And about 2 years ago, actually almost exactly 2 years ago, I was weighing close to 200 pounds, and I lost 55 pounds through combination of nutrition and exercise. So yeah, it's been fun. Cool. Started the Instagram when that happened, and here we are.
You are like a savant of taking food pictures, by the way. Like it's pretty cool.
It's just an iPhone and some sunlight and
whatever works.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like all your stuff is like I'm like every time I want to be like, okay, like bring some of that over. I want to eat some of that.
And I was gonna bring you cookies today, but then I didn't. I kind of forgot because I was running late. But
maybe you had some foresight that Adam's
trying to there.
I just went through kind of like I'm trying to get bigger phase, and Adam needs to stop bulking for a little while.
I'm also stopping bulking. I'm not currently
really?
on a cut. I hate that word, but
I don't really like that word either. Why don't you like the word though?
I don't know. I just think the bulk cut gets such like a negative connotation,
it does.
Especially in women. I think the bulk, especially because they're like, I don't want to get bulky.
Yeah.
I don't think I look bulky.
See, for dudes, it just sounds like you're a bro.
Right.
Like I don't like to say like I'm in bulk, but I do like when people are like kind of hazing me about like shoving down a dozen tacos. I'm like, I'm bulking.
Yeah,
blow off.
Fine.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to eat less pizza. I have this really like big obsession with Marquis, which we've talked about before. So
Sam's place. Sam works out here now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Sweet.
He for real does.
Nice.
How do you know Sam?
Well,
just from going there?
Well, yeah, from going there.
I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. I think that.
Yeah. We
Sam's great.
Yeah.
I've known
Sam
Sam
and I are
since
meeting up
fourth
next
grade.
Friday.
Did you know that?
No, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have this obsession with Marquis, and I need to limit myself to like maybe once a week instead of sometimes twice a week.
By the way, Marquis, hey, he's on right now. He's watching. Marquis is a pizza bar restaurant.
So good.
Sam, you want to put in the comments section what? Did I just hear Sam? We're talking about you.
We're talking about you.
Mad shit, dude. I'm telling all the most embarrassing stories I can think of. No, it's a great place. It's a great restaurant to go to. It's in Corville. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
River Landing. It's so good.
Yep. It's
insane.
fantastic.
My favorite restaurant. I have an obsession.
Yeah, I've never been disappointed. I've never been anything but the complete opposite of disappointed. I think it's a fantastic place.
Amazing.
But so that's what we were talking about. Cut versus bulk.
Cut versus
so okay, so you don't like cut for female, or you don't like bulk for females because you think it scares them. Why don't you like the cut?
I don't know. I just think I'm not trying to like cut weight. Like I'm not trying to like lose a lot of weight like I was before. Just want to trim down just a little bit. Nothing drastic. Just this little tiny adjustment.
Yeah. Well, at the beginning, like anytime somebody's going through this, like I need to lose 50 pounds, like they do just need to be kind of aggressive and go for it. At your stage, if you tried to lose 50 pounds right now, that would be extremely unhealthy, and we'd probably have to have a conversation where it's like, hey,
absolutely.
Kelly, so let's go eat some peanut butter, because you need it.
I'm still eating a lot of peanut butter. I'm in a caloric deficit, but I am still eating.
Can you hit on that subject for a little while? Because a lot of people don't realize that can be a thing.
Oh, like eating what you want on a caloric deficit?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, Oh, where do I start? Just in general caloric deficit. So energy balance is a very simple principle, but it is often made to be something very complex. So your energy balance, your energy needs are dictated by your total daily energy expenditure, which varies from person to person. It depends a lot on your age, your height, your weight, your lifestyle,
muscle
your
mass,
muscle
fat
mass, your fat mass, your general activity as well as your exercise related activity, and it all comes down to this number, which is the number that you need to maintain your weight. In order to gain weight from that, you increase your calories, you end up in a caloric surplus. In order to lose weight, you drop into a caloric deficit. Now, this is kind of the topic that we were going to go into today, was energy deficits, how your nutrition can impact your hormones, and so it's kind of a good segue actually.
Oh, good.
But in an energy deficit, you kind of want to be conservative about this. So for the last year, a little longer than a year, I was in a very slow bulk. I was in a very slow caloric surplus to gain weight. Once I actually started gaining
and she was lifting this whole time,
I
by
was
the way.
lifting the whole
That's
time.
extremely important.
Yes, I was lifting the whole time. I was making sure I got the right amount of protein in my diet, which current recommendations are between 1.8 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of overall body weight.
Yeah, so you could, for pounds, you just cut that number in half, close enough.
Right, just pretty close to that. So yes, so I was making sure I was getting enough protein and I was lifting, so I was stimulating muscle protein synthesis during my bulk, not just gaining fat. So there was a very specific process for that. Yeah. It sounds complicated, it's not.
It's really not.
It was very easy.
You eat more while you're lifting, you get more muscle. You eat more when you don't lift, you get more fat.
Right.
It's that's pretty, like, is that a good way to put it?
That's about as simple as you can get it, yeah.
Yes.
So I've been doing that for the last year, and a lot of people kind of don't think about nutrition as something that needs to be cycled. So periodization is a big thing in nutrition. And so that is
serious underestimation. Serious underestimation. Yeah.
Right.
Everything works for 6 weeks. 6 to 12 weeks, everything works. So keep going, because that's gold.
Yes, so that's what I am doing. So for the last year and a half, I was in this very slow increase into a surplus, in an actual surplus, gained mostly muscle, did gain a little bit of fat because that happens. That is a normal thing that happens during a bulk. Yeah. And now I want to trim down, keep my muscle, and lose a little bit of that fat. So I dropped into a conservative, emphasis, caloric deficit. So I found out where my maintenance is, where I stopped gaining and I was just maintaining my weight. So I gradually dropped by like 100 calories a week to find my maintenance. Found my maintenance, and now.
By the way, 100 calories a week is like nothing. That's like a glass of milk.
Yeah.
It's
one cookie.
Really,
I just posted a couple days ago. Protein, peanut butter, oatmeal, chocolate chip cookies. It's one of those. One cookie a week.
One.
Yeah.
A week.
Yeah.
Or 7 days.
Right. So you can still have them. It's just you eat one fewer cookie.
Yeah.
So I dropped into a caloric deficit by slowly coming off of my surplus. Yeah. Once I slowly came off that surplus, I found where I was starting to lose weight. I am losing weight at 2,400 calories right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because my metabolic rate was so high due to...
I guess you are. You're like 5'10". I mean, like, you're pretty tall.
So I'm tall, and I have a decent amount of muscle mass, and I'm pretty active, and so I found, and my metabolism adjusted to that higher caloric intake as well. So
I'll write that down and talk about later.
Okay.
I have a bunch of questions to ask you on that.
Perfect. Hopefully I can answer them, because maybe I won't be able to. But so I dropped back just very gradually. And a big thing that people often get into is they want results right now. Yeah. And so they make these aggressive changes from their maintenance level to lose weight very quickly. And there's a lot of problems with that. Yeah. So, where do I
Especially at her stage. Like, you can get away with a lot of stuff when you haven't gotten off the couch in 6 years.
Right. Newbie gains, newbie losses. Yeah. I've been doing this I really count it, like I've really been doing it for like a year and a half. That's when I actually like started lifting. Yeah. I was in a deficit.
That's when you upped your game, yeah.
Right. I was in a deficit for quite a bit of time before that, but I wasn't lifting the way that I do now then. So I made a lot of progress initially, but now I have to be pretty specific about what I'm doing in order to make the progress in the way that I want, because I no longer have newbie gains.
Yeah, at the first you can just work your ass off and get gains, and then at some point you have to work real smart to get the gains.
Right, because your body is always going to adapt according to stimulus. That's why it's always important to increase the weights that you are lifting if you're wanting to get stronger, grow muscle. Your body has to make these progressive adaptations, and doing the same thing all the time is not going to deliver results.
If you're wondering about what she just said, go back to the video from yesterday with Eric. That was just gold. Eric just lays down just miles of gold in that video. It's really good, but keep going.
Perfect. So if you get into a caloric deficit, and you drop that too drastically initially, you're going to see results. Okay? However, with that, you may end up losing, you will likely end up losing a substantial amount of lean muscle mass as well as fat mass. When you are in an aggressive caloric deficit, your risk of losing lean muscle mass is so large because your body sees that as a threat to survival. Muscle mass requires more energy to keep up than fat, and so the body's going to say, nope, see ya, I don't need that. But fat allows you to store more energy. There is more energy stored in a gram of fat compared to a gram of protein, and so your body's going to hang on to that. And
I think that's a really important distinction to make, because like people look at fat and they're like, okay, that's stored fat, stored energy, right? And then they look at carbohydrates and they're like, all right, I got a certain amount of carbohydrates in my body that's just kind of doing its thing and hanging out there. It's stored for later, but they don't look at your muscle tissue as like stored energy. But that's all it is. It's stored protein that your body can use. And if you were going to go into a coma, your body's going to, it's not going to go for the fat. Your body's extremely smart, so it's going to go for what it needs.
So with the loss of lean muscle mass, you're going to lose some of your metabolic rate is going to decrease some from that alone. But there are other things that happen that also decrease your metabolic rate. You like these segues? I'm on fire right now. Okay, so
you are though.
I'm really excited about this. So when you are in a calorie deficit, and if you are in a calorie deficit for a fair period of time, your hormones are going to be impacted.
They're gonna get fucked.
Basically, yes, they are. So, first one, you are going to have increased ghrelin. So that's going to increase your hunger. You're not eating, your body is going to increase your hunger response. It's going to tell you, hey, you should eat something. It's going to decrease your leptin. That is your satiety hormone. And so it's going to say, no, I'm not satisfied, I need more food. So this is your body's way of being smart. Your testosterone is going to decrease, so that decreases the amount of muscle that you're going to put on.
Bummer.
Big bummer.
Big bummer.
Big bummer. Your thyroid hormone is going to decrease. That decreases your metabolic rate. You hear about people who have hypothyroidism and how they have a really hard time losing weight, and it's because they don't have enough thyroid hormone, and you increase it and they're going to actually be able to lose a little bit of weight.
They hit the diet too hard while hitting the treadmill too hard, and it burn it out, and then you're stuck. You work hard enough at that, you're gonna go ahead and kill it, and then without that you're gonna die. So this isn't something to mess with for sure.
And then our favorite hormone to talk about is cortisol.
Oh yeah,
because we brought this up before. So with an increased calorie deficit, you actually increase your cortisol as well. And so the body's way of doing this is because of this fight or flight response. So cortisol is your stress hormone, and it is increased during periods of stress. During periods where you need rapid energy and you need to fight.
You need to survive. You need to get shit done. You need to, whatever it is. So we're definitely not saying that cortisol is bad. Cortisol has its place. Without cortisol, you'd actually die too. But if we're just bathing in cortisol all day, what happens?
So increased cortisol is going to decrease your lean body mass as well, your lean muscle mass. So it's going to cause muscle catabolism, muscle breakdown, and so all of these things combined, you're going to end up with a major loss of lean muscle mass. It also inhibits the amount of fat that you can use. So again, the same thing, the body's trying to conserve what energy it can. And it is, I mean, all of these things, you're going to be stuck. You're going to have all of these
You can't
changes.
recover from your workouts,
Right.
so then you can't make progress within your workouts, so then you just feel lethargic, and it ends up just eating you from the inside out, and you just can't deal.
Right.
You can't live your life the way you want to. It's detrimental.
Right. And so you can have these hormonal changes with an aggressive calorie deficit. You can also have it in overtraining. And Adam talked about this yesterday in his live, but also, and how recovery and all of that is so important.
Yeah.
And I wrote about this in a blog post very recently about overtraining, overreaching, and how that can impact your progress as well.
Yeah. And you got to work your ass off to get there. So one of the things we were talking about before we came on here was the accumulation of stress.
Right.
We're not necessarily just talking about your workout and you working out for 1 hour a day really hard. 1 hour a day really hard. Like if you worked out 5 days a week for 1 hour, that's 5 hours in a week, and there's 168 hours in a week, so that's 163 hours that you would have to build stress upon stress and upon stress and to torture yourself out into what we're talking about right now. So it's very much, that's why we're talking about meditation and relaxing throughout your day and having enough sleep and these other kind of, I don't know, quantitative type things that you can add in.
Right. To help manage your stress. And
Right.
yeah, like Adam said, it's not that hour a week. It's doing multiple workouts in a day. It's doing 3 hours of exercise every day for
Yeah.
weeks upon weeks. It's the
Yeah.
cumulative effect over time,
Over
combined with all of your outside stressors,
Yeah.
with work or
Yeah.
school or family,
And
whatever you have
And
going
this is
on.
also exactly why the body doesn't that statement that we make all the time is that the body doesn't differentiate between stress. This is exactly the thing. Like, your body doesn't care if it was a really hard workout, a ton of plyometrics, a fight with your significant other, like you stubbing your toe on something. Like, the body doesn't care. Stress it is the same for
Right.
everything, physical and mental.
Right, yeah. So you end up with these issues, and you have to recover from them. So you have to make sure you're prioritizing things to decrease your stress response, and you're not dipping too far into that caloric deficit. So
yeah, that's the thing. Like food can help you recover from a lot of stuff.
absolutely.
Right? So if we're training really hard and we're living really hard and we're trying to get a lot of stuff done, and then we're also trying to lose fat at the same time, it's like a pretty rough cycle.
Right.
Like,
You're gonna feel it. You will feel it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of signs that these things are happening, and that you need to take a step back and be like, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
I need to hold on. If you're not sleeping well when you are trying to sleep, you're really jittery, if you're having a really hard time falling asleep,
Yeah.
if you're more irritable just in general,
Yeah, because those two things didn't. If you're in a caloric deficit and you've been working your ass off, you should hit the pillow and be out.
Right.
Like, it should just be. So if you're already having trouble when you get there, something's going on.
right, there's something wrong with your hormones, there's something wrong with your recovery, and you need to take a look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. If you're more hungry, absolutely. If you're feeling lightheaded, if you're feeling dizzy, if you're feeling really jittery,
You got the bags.
yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
You're having trouble concentrating.
Yeah, when I notice it is when I can't do simple math in my head. It's like if I couldn't do 150 plus like 133, and it's like what? Like
Yeah.
why wouldn't that be 183? Or 283? It's like duh.
Are you overtrained right now? Is your cortisol too high?
Yeah, maybe.
183?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I have to but when I start getting that way, when I can't do simple math in my head, I'm like, oh my god, I need to stop.
Yeah.
I need to stop and just like go for a walk or something.
Yeah. And so it's adding things and taking things away. So if you're feeling some of these things, eat more food, or take a deload week, or take a rest week. I'm on a rest week right now. I haven't worked out.
Did you go full on rest? Like full on, just didn't go to the gym?
Yeah, I didn't go to the gym.
And, by the way, that is not for beginners.
No.
That is not for beginners to do. That is for somebody that has consistently worked out for an extended period of time. And like right now, is it kind of bugging you that you're not working out? Like you can't wait to get back to the gym?
I'm excited to get back to the gym.
That's a good sign right there.
Yeah, I'm excited, but I know that it's good for me.
Yeah.
So I am.
Yeah.
Way back, I would just take a deload week.
Yeah.
And then go back into my next program.
That's what we really did was we went through 11 different types
Beautiful.
of deload weeks that you can possibly do. So we went advanced kind of like moderate and beginner
Perfect.
levels.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And a lot of people don't know what a deload is or why they would take a deload, so that would be a really good thing for a lot of people
Seriously.
to check in on.
Yeah,
So.
it's something that the fitness industry is just brutally butchering.
And there's
Just
a big
alliteration there. I don't know why.
There's a lot of questions about what do you do with your nutrition during a deload week.
Yeah.
Too. So eat
Thoughts?
the same thing. Eat what you're normally eating during a heavy training
And
week.
why?
Because the point is to recover. If you're in a deficit, you're not going to recover.
Exactly. Like that's what we try to talk about a lot. Was like some of the common mistakes were like if you decrease your volume but you increase your intensity, you're not in a deload week.
Right.
You would have to do both. And so like if you decrease your calories way down low, like the point was to recover. So like,
right.
come on.
Now, if you are in a surplus, you could drop to maintenance levels, but don't go into a deficit.
Yeah.
And if you're in a deficit,
Right.
you can keep it the same,
That's
but
a good
don't drop
point.
into
Yeah,
more of a
it's not like you
deficit.
get to eat chicken and waffles 5 times a day, like
Right.
and just gorge yourself out
Right.
for an entire week. That would probably not be what
Probably not.
we just
Some
gotta
people, I'm
add
sure
to your
they have a metabolic
progress.
rate that could tolerate
Assholes.
that. I know. I hate them.
Oh man, but let's talk more about the metabolic adjustment.
Yes.
Because I think that is grossly misunderstood.
Oh yes. Okay. So a lot of people will start their caloric deficit by taking, say, they drop by their maintenance level is 2,000, and then they'll drop to 1,200. That's a very common number that people like to hold on to.
That'd be so sad.
It's so
if I only got
sad.
to eat 1,200 calories a day. For one, I'm 6'4", 200. Like I weighed in at 244 the other day. So like, well, that would just be so low for.
Yeah. But it's a very common recommended number for women on MyFitnessPal. Women say they want to lose 2 pounds a week, and
That's so sad. That's so sad. Yeah.
Women say that they want to lose 2 pounds a week, and it'll give them 1,200 calories, because that's the lowest that MyFitnessPal will give you.
That's like, yeah, you could starve yourself and it'll work, which it will, but at the same time, you're starving yourself.
It's very, very low, very restrictive. So
Okay, so what happens?
So you say you drop to that, you're going to lose some weight.
Yeah.
It's going to be weight. It's not going to be
Yeah, so
necessarily
you adjusted your
fat.
intake.
Yes. It's not
Then what
just going to
happens?
be fat. It's also going to be muscle. So you're going to lose some weight, but then you're going to stop. Your body is going to adapt to that 1,200 calories.
And you're going to stall out completely?
You could. You very well could. You could stop losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, okay, I'm not in a low enough deficit. So you drop that even more. And even more.
And you
your
can only go so low.
You can only go so low.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's not sustainable. It's not realistic.
It's not
and
reasonable,
you're going to have,
logical, wise.
right. And you're going to have all of
defies
these
science.
bad effects as a result too.
Yeah.
All of these hormone changes and lean muscle mass loss and issues with recovery and issues with performance.
And you're going to miss out on all the positive effects that you were going for getting in the first place.
Right.
As via the weight loss, via the it being in shape, via the strength gains, you'll miss out on all those because they can't happen.
Right. And who doesn't
And that's a
love food?
real bummer. There's also that. Seriously, it's one of the greatest pleasures in life. Like you should just like
Right.
love this
Yeah.
stuff.
You can still eat things that you like and that you enjoy
Yeah.
while being in a deficit. So yes, while my deficit is pretty high,
Yeah.
I foresee myself, if I'm eating at a deficit and I'm at 2,400 calories, I'm not going to stay at 2,400 calories. I'm going to have to drop a little bit. But like I said, I'm dropping very slowly so that it is sustainable and I minimize my lean muscle mass loss because I have worked very hard over the course of a fair period of time to increase my muscle.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose it.
Well, yeah.
I lost
And you didn't want to get fat getting it
I know.
because you just spent all that time losing it.
Right,
Exactly. Losing all that fat.
All that periodization, I'm very meticulous about what I'm doing. Now, you don't have to be. It's just if you drop into a deficit, make sure you're hitting your protein and don't go too far into a deficit.
I see what you mean. I thought you were going to say that you don't have to be super obsessive, or I was like, I don't know. I think you got to be a little nutty for a little while at least.
You have to have that
to kind
goal.
of figure this out anyway.
Yeah.
And then you can ease up on yourself.
Oh yeah, you don't have to be crunching numbers all day, every single day in order to make
that would
progress.
suck so bad.
Yeah, my husband is an example of this.
Oh, yeah?
So my husband is gonna get newbie gains, and I'm very jealous of him. So he decided that he wanted to make some lifestyle changes, and so I set him up. I was like, "This is what you need to do. You need to you need to get some protein, and you need to get roughly this amount of calories on a fairly consistent basis, because he is not one where he's going to track." But I was like, get a ballpark.
I'm not one that's going to track.
I was like,
it's annoying.
Get a ballpark in, and then go from there.
Yeah.
But get your protein.
That's the thing. Like, you need to know what you need to know. You at least need to quantify a little bit.
You need to know what a typical day looks like for you in order to have a baseline, and then you can adjust from there.
Right.
You do not have to crunch numbers all day long.
Yeah. If you're walking around spending your entire day calculating the calories that you had, like that's just,
people do it. I've done it.
But it sucks.
It sucks, and you spend a lot of mental energy focusing on that, and it is not fun.
Yeah. So with metabolic adjustment, how does like gorging, fasting, The Biggest Loser all play into this whole thing?
Oh yes. Okay. So if you think about it over the course of a week.
Yes.
So say you're hitting your deficit on Monday, and you are fasted because say you get the stomach flu or food poisoning on Tuesday, okay?
Ouch, why are you doing this to me?
I'm examples, okay. But then you're back on track on Wednesday and Thursday, and then you go out on Friday night and you go ham, all right? Okay, Saturday you're back, Sunday you go out to brunch and you have too many mimosas.
Okay.
Or you have Blackstone, where are they? Blackstone's brunch, which is, so you go out to brunch buffet, whatever. You go ham again. So 3 out of your 7 days, you've gone into, or whatever I said. Let's say 3 out of your 7 days, you are in a surplus. 1 of your 7 days, you are fasted, you're in a steep deficit. The rest of the week, you're in a slight deficit.
Okay.
You might be at maintenance. You're probably in a surplus.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't know one day at a time. It's not one day is going to make or break you.
Yeah.
It's the cumulative effect.
That's what I was hoping you were going to go into. Yeah.
Yes, it is. One day is not going to make or break you.
Yeah.
You want to go eat pizza on one day, but the rest of the day, the rest of the week, a lot of pizza. You're going to go to Marquee and you're going to eat 3 pizzas or whatever, whatever. You're going to enjoy yourself. You're not focusing on tracking. You're definitely in a surplus, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It is going to add up, subtract. It's overall energy balance. It's not just this one day.
Yeah. And that's why like Thanksgiving doesn't make you fat.
Right.
And why not eating one day out of the week is not outrageously unhealthy, for instance.
Right. Like I'm still enjoying the things that I like and the things that I want to do. And if, like today, I'm going to go to the Old Dominion concert at Carver.
Ooh, cool.
And I'm going to go out to dinner with my sisters. And I'm going to enjoy myself.
You going to go to Marquee?
Actually, no. My sister said I couldn't go there again.
You going to go to Banditos?
I don't know where we're going to go yet. We got to figure it out.
Just go to Banditos. You'll be happy with
okay.
that. Have you been there yet?
No. A long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago. Okay, we're
Wait. We're at metabolic adjustment.
Oh yes. Okay, yeah. So basically, you can still eat the things that you enjoy, and the cumulative effect of your many days is going to be the difference, not the one day where you go and enjoy yourself. That's where fitness and nutrition become a lifestyle, and not where you're
stressing out about
having to eat a healthy diet every single day.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people hear that and they go, "That's too good to be true."
It's not. It's not.
It's not though. It's really not. Like they're like, "No way, that can't be true. I cannot eat pizza on, when I'm on a diet." It's like, yeah, you can if you only have one piece. Like I never have one piece either.
I eat an entire pizza.
But like, what I'm saying is like, you might not get to eat like all the pizza, but you still can have pizza.
Lately, my example for everything of like when you go ham has been pizza, and I feel like I'm like demonizing pizza, but I'm really celebrating pizza. I just want to clarify that. Like, you can eat the pizza.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I went an entire year without eating pizza.
Did you
at
really?
one point, because I like was in this mindset that I couldn't.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, screw it.
Yeah.
I know it's fine.
It's so sad.
It was so sad. I remember the day
That's a
that
bummer.
I know, it was a bummer. It was a big bummer.
When you came back, when you finally had that first piece of pizza, was it just like the greatest thing ever?
It was like euphoria.
I have a friend that was vegan for like 5 years, and then somebody made him bacon. He was like, "Oh, I'll try it," and like the way that he describes that first bite was just like the greatest thing that he's ever experienced in his whole life.
I mean, it wasn't even the best pizza I've ever had.
Yeah.
But it was pizza.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Totally. I know what you mean.
And it didn't hurt me in any shape or form.
Oh man.
But I was convinced, I woke up the next day and I was like, well, all right, we'll see what.
Yeah. Was it even kind of hard? Was it even kind of like, I've been without this for a year, like I could keep going because I've built up, but I made the decision.
Yeah.
Was it even kind of like,
I had learned that this was not sustainable for life. Like I was not going to go my entire life without doing the things that I was enjoying, and it wasn't until I had to force myself out of that mentality, like by traveling, and you can't control every gram of everything that you eat for when you're traveling. That's not the point. It's when you travel,
you'd have to weigh all your food just to do that anyway.
I know, and even you can't go to a restaurant.
No.
So
yeah, and even if you did weigh all your food, you don't really know how your body is going to respond to that food while it's in you, because that can be a day-to-day change. Right. That's not just this is how you always respond to it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So
that's almost like philosophical.
I know. That is almost.
We just got away from the science.
Depends.
It's got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's in there.
But yeah, it's not too good. I don't think that that's too good to be true to say you can eat what you want. We just have to. We have to be smart about it.
Right. And I think people kind of hear about that 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this? So I don't know. I think that gets into quantifying things a lot. I think the majority, if you break it down simply, the majority of the time, eat, foods that are going to nourish your body, that are going to support your body and fuel
100%.
your body the way that you need. And, some of the time when you want it, when you, are ready to have that, and within a, good, I don't know. I hate the word balance. I'm trying to find
I know. I don't like the word balance either, because it's just it's so cliche for one.
I went crazy, so I'm only going to eat
It's such an
salad
easy thing to go and say, and it doesn't really say anything.
Right.
Oh, we just got to strike that balance. Bullshit.
Yeah.
If you eat, let's say you eat the typical clean, you eat your lean meats, and you eat your vegetables, and you eat your good fats, and blah 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 blah, and you do that 80% of the time. Well, then you could get away with nutritional murder 5% of the time if you really wanted to sit around and quantify it.
Right.
But what is 80? What is 5?
Yeah. I mean, I think that live your life and eat the way that you feel the best. And I know that I feel the best when I eat, minimally processed food, ingredients that I know. And
I think everybody's going to be better that way.
Yeah.
And do you think some of that just is the relationship that you built with your body over the last 2 years?
Yeah, I definitely know what my body likes and what my body does not like.
Yeah, and I don't think people really have that yet.
Yeah.
I think it takes some experience to get to that
point.
It's intuitive eating would be awesome for everybody, right?
Right.
But people don't know the difference between, it's hard to know the difference sometimes between thirst, boredom, and hunger.
Right, you were just talking about that. Yeah, 100%. And you really do have to be in tune with your body, and it's a learning process. And I get asked all the time what I do differently, and how I, because I went from eating everything, not everything, but not eating healthy at all. I was eating takeout 5-6 days a week.
Cheese whiz.
Not cheese, not that bad, but
Velveeta.
I know, I would get Pancheros several times a week for dinner.
That's basically a Hot Pocket.
Yeah, it's basically, it's not, it's not great for you.
Their guacamole just tastes like they just poured water into some dried up stuff.
It's certainly not nutritious for you. So I was eating a lot of takeout, and then I went to eating only clean food in a deficit, and then I was eating only clean food, but gradually increasing it, and then I was all right, well, I can eat different stuff. But then I would incorporate those different things and be oh, actually, that does not make me feel good. I can't eat fried food. It will give me the worst heartburn of
Oh, really?
Yeah, can't do it.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can have 2 French fries, beyond 2, that's my limit.
Yeah.
I just can't. and it's not worth it for me.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I think that there's something there though, just being conscious of how it did make you feel.
Yeah.
Like if you stop and think, like if you have some food and then you consciously think like, how did I feel when?
Right.
Like I think smokers could do that. Like if they smoked and they're like, how does this cigarette actually taste?
Right.
You know, then they'd actually sit back and be like, actually it tastes like shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'd rather eat something that tastes just as good as a French fry, you know, than eat the French fries and feel awful the next day. So just not into it.
Well, cool. We're about up on time. What is there anything else that you really want to hit on?
I just think undereating is like this big like phenomenon that I always talk about on my channel.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna harp on for the rest of my life because it's such a big problem and it's such a huge misconception that really women especially feel like they have to do in order to achieve their goals. And this 1,200 calorie number, I just want to like stomp it into the ground and like throw it away because it's so frustrating that people think that they have to do that, and there's so many negative effects.
It's unhealthy and it's misleading, and on top of that, it's just totally ridiculous.
Right.
I mean, it just makes no logical sense.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So don't like if you're gonna lose fat, you're gonna try to lose fat. Don't try to do this like crash diet where you just like go these drastic measures. Like if we're gonna go drastic, like let's look at lifestyle, and let's look at exercise, and let's look at mindset, and let's look at nutrition. Like let's go drastic across the board. It's like if you were going to get addicted to something, let's get addicted to winning. Let's not get addicted to like a substance, right? But, where can they follow you?
At KP_ing it simple, keeping it simple. And I need
on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Did you make a Facebook page yet?
I have a Facebook page. I don't use it very often. I also have my blog, www.kp-ingitsimple.com. There's a lot of recipes there, and when I go on rants and I get really passionate about things like overtraining and nutrition and undereating, I write very science-backed blog posts there.
You get into your techno babble.
Yeah, I cite everything.
Yeah, I have a really tough time with that. Like the last 2 years have just been like doing these. It's just been me trying to not
get
sound like
angry.
Well, just like super passionate and like throw out the big words. It's like, how do I pare this down and just?
And that's what I'm all about, is keeping it simple. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's
like make it to a place where you understand. Because I teach, so I'm nursing faculty. So like that's what I do every day. Yeah. And so that's how I try to communicate these things on my channel.
Yeah. It's pretty cool that you do that.
Yeah.
Because it actually is an underestimation that like how much effort it takes to simplify things down.
Yeah.
Like I spend a lot of time just like, how am I going to actually explain this in a way that you don't need a
I think even like saying lean muscle mass loss, people don't even understand that.
Yeah, well, even things like scapula was one I had to get over. No one knows what scapula is. It's a shoulder blade.
Right.
And even then you might have trouble.
Right.
Yeah, like your hamstring. No one knows what that is.
I know.
It's on the back of the thigh. Right. Wait, is that the one up here? No, that's your arm. But anyway, follow her on, go over it, hit him with it one more time.
At keeping it simple, KP_ing it simple, grit_coach.
Yeah, for my personal one.
For personal, or at Grit Gym for this place.
This place. Thanks. I'm glad that you were here. This is always fun.
I like doing it. It's fun.
It's awesome. All right, thanks guys for being here. We do this every day at 12:30. Every weekday at 12:30. Please comment below and then share out the video with everybody you know, and or share it publicly. And we'll be back on Monday. Hopefully we get Kelly back here again, because no one's ever been here 3 times.
I gotta do it, man.
You gotta be
I'm doing it.
All right, thanks guys. We'll see you soon.